Richmond is about to hit a level up so hard in 2026 that even the people who swear they know this city are going to pause and go, hold on, since when? We're talking a real tower muscling into the skyline, that CoStar building rising like it's been training for a heavyweight fight, entire pockets of the city shifting under our feet. Here's what people keep missing. Richmond isn't just growing, it's reinventing itself, and it's happening faster than most folks realize. Mayo Island is finally ditching its parking lot era. The Diamond District is no longer a napkin sketch. It's starting to look like a place you'll actually move through, linger in, and live around. The riverfront is already flashing its next version, and you can feel it in the people. VCU students acting like they discovered the James yesterday, longtime Southside residents watching cranes multiply in Manchester, the Scots Edition crowd convinced they heard every update first. Everyone's living their normal day-to-day while 2026 is quietly loading in the background like a massive system update. And just so we're clear, this video does exactly what the title promises. We're breaking down everything new and coming soon to Richmond, Virginia in 2026. The obvious projects, the quieter ones, and the changes you'll feel long before they ever make a headline. If you're thinking about moving here, already here, or just paying attention to where Richmond is headed, this is for you. So let me ask you this. When the shift fully lands, are you going to recognize it in real time or look around later and wonder when everyone else caught on? Richmond's been shifting for a while. You only notice it if you're actually out in it. Like last week, I was grabbing a drink at a local coffee shop, staring out the window, watching that CoStar tower creep higher over the river, and it hit me. We're past hype. This is momentum. You smell fresh lumber near the boulevard, hear cranes waking up Manchester, feel the city leaning forward just a little more than it used to, and that's the thought that sticks. If this is what Richmond feels like mid-build, what does it feel like when all of it locks into place? Because the energy isn't simmering anymore, it's climbing. And if you know where to look, you could already see the ignition points. Quick context, because this matters. I'm a relocation specialist and a native Richmonder. I spend my days helping people understand how Richmond actually works, development patterns, timing, housing options, and what these changes mean before they show up in headlines. If you reach out, it's me you're talking to, not a handoff, not a system. My role is simple: help people navigate information clearly so they can make informed decisions about moving to, living in, or planning around Richmond's growth. Now, let's talk about what's actually changing. You ever feel a city gearing up for something? That quiet pressure right before everything breaks open? That's Richmond right now. I had a relocating tech couple looking around for houses recently. Very analytical, spreadsheets for everything. We crossed the Manchester Bridge, the CoStar Tower came into view, and the guy just froze. Wait, that's Richmond? That reaction says everything. That 26-story lead-targeted tower isn't just another office building. It's a signal. A 750,000 square foot campus with capacity for thousands of employees changes how a city moves. Downtown foot traffic, housing demand, daily rhythm. Walk near Tredegar early in a weekday and you hear it. More footsteps, more motion, a different hum. This is what cities sound like when momentum starts compounding. Then there's Mayo Island. 15 acres of former industrial land being rebuilt into a flood-adaptive natural park. Meadows, native plants, gravel paths, and trail connections that tie directly into the Capitol Trail and the Slave Trail. Here's the key. The island is designed to work with the river, not fight it. That same living with water approach used in resilient waterfront cities worldwide. This isn't cosmetic growth, it's structural. And then you hit the boulevard. The Diamond District is no longer hypothetical. The stadium is funded, the field is in, the framework is visible. Drive through at sunset and you can see the outline of a neighborhood forming. Housing, retail, open space, all anchored by a venue built for year-round activity. Here's the pattern to notice. Life cycle changes land before ribbon cuttings, every time. If these shifts have you wondering how they affect your own plans, that's exactly why people reach out. You can always read a city's temperature by how people eat, wander, and spend unstructured time. Right now, Richmond feels like it's stretching before a long run. As Mayo Island comes online, weekend energy along the James changes fast. Former industrial land becomes usable space. Trails pull people closer to the river. Access improves. This is how less visible pockets of a city gain momentum, not overnight, but through small, routine changes that stack. The Diamond District brings its own gravity. A stadium engineered for year-round events means movement. Crowds, spillover, people wander, run into someone they know, stay longer than planned. That's not accidental. That's how districts earn identity. Quick pause. I want your read. Which part of Richmond feels like it's quietly changing right now? Drop it in the comments, because these shifts always start subtle, and when how people gather changes, the economic wave usually follows. Every city has loud projects. The real transformation happens in the quiet ones. Look along the riverfront. Crews adjusting soil elevations, testing permeable surfaces, upgrading paths to handle water instead of resisting it. These investments come straight out of global research on flood adaptive urban design, the kind that reduces long-term damage and keeps spaces usable after storms. When you catch that earthy rain-soaked smell after a storm, that's not random. That's Richmond quietly tuning itself. Then there are the trail connections. Nothing flashy, just links that make movement easier. This is how areas people often overlook start feeling more connected, not through hype, but through access. Southside has its own version of this. Pocket parks designed to absorb water, native landscaping, surfaces that stay functional after a downpour, kids kicking a ball, cicadas louder than traffic, small moments, big payoff. If you want to watch Richmond's next phase load in real time, watch where new housing is appearing alongside infrastructure. The Diamond District is the clearest signal when you anchor a 67-acre mixed-use area with a year-round venue. Nearby housing demand responds. You can already feel it on Arthur Ashe Boulevard. Even before everything opens, the corridor hums. Southside is seeing similar movement, infill projects near future trail connections, homes rising where access keeps improving. Stand near Sims Avenue, smell fresh mulch, and realize the river's minutes away without navigating traffic. This is how overlooked parts of the city evolve, not through marketing language, but through daily usability. Downtown is catching it too. Older buildings near Tredegar being repurposed. Morning light bouncing off the James, a district preparing for a different daily rhythm. This is where transformation becomes personal. That CoStar expansion, a 750,000 square foot campus with capacity for roughly 4,000 employees, does more than change the skyline. It changes the math of the city. With a single employer brings that level of high-skilled job density into a mid-sized metro, everything around it reacts. Housing demand, rental pressure, daily movement, even how early coffee shops open their doors. You start to notice it in small ways first. More laptops and brewers on weekday mornings. Rideshare drivers casually mentioning new tech hires. Downtown and lunch hours stretching longer because foot traffic is thicker. And here's the part most people miss. Job waves don't arrive alone. Once a major employer plants a flag, secondary industries follow: consulting, specialized services, training infrastructure, adjacent tech. Research shows these clusters tend to form within 18 to 30 months, not years. Translation, what you're seeing now is the front edge, not the peak. This is the phase where the opportunity feels quiet, but decisions start locking in, where flexibility still exists, but not for long. And Richmond is learning how to absorb that growth without losing the things that make people want to be here in the first place. That balance is rare and it's fragile. If you really want to understand where a city is heading, don't stare at the skyline. Watch how people move. Richmond is tightening its foundation right now. Not with flashy announcements, but with connective tissue. Sidewalks widening just enough to feel intentional. Crossings redesigned to match actual foot traffic. Trails linking spaces that used to feel separate. Mayo Island is the clearest expression of that shift. 15 acres rebuilt with flood adaptive design, native landscapes, and paths that connect directly into the Capitol Trail and the Slave Trail. It's designed to handle water, bounce back after storms, and stay usable instead of fenced off. That matters more than it sounds. Cities that invest in resilient open space don't just recover faster, they change how people use their time. People walk more, linger longer, build routines around places that feel dependable. Southside is seeing its own version of this transformation. Greenway threads pulling Sims Avenue and Forest Hill closer to the river. Pocket parks designed to absorb water instead of pushing it somewhere else. Cyclists passed in steady intervals, almost setting the tempo for the street. Even the micro adjustments matter. Better lighting on the T. Tyler Potterfield Bridge turns the river into a soft glow instead of a void. Transit connections near Tredegar allow people to shift from bike to bus without friction. These aren't isolated upgrades. This is Richmond quietly rewriting how daily life flows. Here's the part most people relocating aren't prepared for. You're not stepping into the Richmond someone remembers from a visit a few years ago. You're entering a city mid-transition, and you'll feel it in your routine before anything else. A job wave this size reshapes mornings and evenings. Coffee lines get longer, commutes gain personality. Neighborhoods that used to feel sleepy suddenly hum during the week. Then the lifestyle shift sneaks up on you. River access stops being a novelty and becomes part of the week. Trails turn into default decompression zones after work. Green space stops feeling optional and starts feeling essential. These aren't nice extras. They shape how long people stay rooted. Housing feels different too. New infill near improving infrastructure. Older buildings repurposed close to the river. Areas gaining stability because the land itself is designed to hold up over time. You're not buying next to a question mark. You're choosing proximity to systems the city is actively reinforcing. And this is the key moment. You're arriving while the blueprint is still flexible, while options exist, while timing still works in your favor. Once momentum compounds, choice narrows, not because the city gets worse, but because more people finally notice what's happening. Let me put it simply. Richmond is rewriting its playbook right now and pretending you'll figure it out later. It's how people end up playing catch up in a city that doesn't slow down to wait. The pace is real. The shifts are already baked into the streets, the trails, the job hubs, the daily rhythm of life here. I see it in the people we help every week. A couple relocating from Chicago told me they felt the moment click when they stood near Tredegar at sunrise and heard cranes moving before the city fully woke up. A homeowner in Forest Hill said their block changed faster than they expected, not because of hype, but because access and demand quietly stacked. These aren't dramatic stories, they're timing stories, and timing matters. I'm your local Richmond real estate relocation specialist. If you want clear answers about neighborhoods, timing, or how to position yourself before the next wave fully lands, reach out. Call, text, email, or grab a time on my calendar. It'll be me on the other end of the line. And if you want to keep learning, jump into the playlist Living in Richmond, Virginia, The Real Guide. It breaks down the neighborhoods, patterns, and rhythms that define how this city actually works, so you can picture where you fit before the next chapter arrives.